So things continue to get uglier and uglier in Dallas, to the point that every basketball fan outside of Texas is starting to feel bad for Mavericks fans. I gotta say, as a Lakers fan, I've never experienced guilt for getting another superstar player. Sure, we always find a way to land another superstar, but this is the first time that it's made me feel dirty as a fan. It isn't normal to land a 25-year-old superstar player in the middle of the night with no other teams being aware of the negotiations. Luka Doncic was a truly, truly special player who is coming off of some recent basketball where he had a 60-point triple-double, a 73-point game, and led his team to the NBA Finals. When you get an all-time great talent, you have to cherish that. Of course, the Lakers are spoiled with superstars, but some franchises don't see another transcendent talent for decades. Take the Chicago Bulls, for example. They had Michael Jordan throughout the 1990s, but after he retired in 1998, they didn't have another superstar franchise player until Derrick Rose came along in the early 2010s. And then, he was like a vapor in the wind. And it's been well over a decade since then, and they're still looking for that next big franchise player. The Mavericks had one of those players at the age of 25 after he just led them to the finals, and they traded him away for a guy in his 30s who's extremely injury prone. This whole situation is so odd that it's starting to get some people to speculate if there's some nefarious dealings going on behind the scenes with Mavericks management. Many people are starting to think that there is a master plan to get the Mavericks to Las Vegas. But I gotta be honest, I don't know about that one. Yes, I understand that the new ownership has ties to gambling and has a history of being in the gambling business. But it's not like Dallas isn't a massive market. Sure, sports betting is not legal in Texas, but it would still be extremely wild to tank a franchise in that massive market, just for a shot at winning a bid to go play in Vegas. Maybe you make that move if you own Memphis or Sacramento. But Dallas? That seems a bit too reckless and wouldn't be enough of an upgrade to warrant this kind of move. Personally, I think it's more likely that Nico Harrison is simply an egomaniac who isn't very sharp. Trading away Luka Doncic was unfathomably stupid. But it's not like Nico Harrison knew everything was gonna unfold the way that it did. He couldn't have known that Anthony Davis was gonna get hurt on Game 1, and he couldn't have known that Kyrie Irving was gonna tear his ACL. Sure, trading Luka does look like it could have been collusion, but everything that happened after that was basically just tragic coincidence. Now I gotta say, this really made me think, is this the worst NBA season that a team has ever had? And no, I'm not just talking about wins and losses, because we know how bad the Bobcats were back in the day. We know the 76ers have had some terrible teams as well. But what I'm talking about is how far your franchise fell in just one season. Where was a fan base's emotional state and expectations at the start of the season, and where did it end up? Again, this was a team who had a 25-year-old superstar who just went to the NBA Finals. And anytime you lose on the game's biggest stage, you always think that next year is going to be your year. And then it played out this way. What's crazy about this whole situation, and I have mentioned this before in a previous video, is that it might be getting even worse. Because Kyrie Irving has a player option at the end of this season. This might have been the last image that we see of him in a Dallas Mavericks uniform. Now, to be fair, if Kyrie Irving opts out, he'll be leaving $44 million on the table. And seeing that he'll now be 33 and coming off of an ACL tear, he's very unlikely to get that kind of money elsewhere. So it is possible that Kyrie opts in and takes that $44 million. But again, he's saying in press conference after press conference that Luka was his hermano, which basically means his brother. If he is devastated to the same extent that the rest of Dallas is, then there is a very good chance that he is done in that city. But again, we all have to wait and see if it actually gets that bad. But even just up to this point, this is historical levels of awful. I was just scrolling through my timeline on X and I saw that Mike Leslie posted this tweet. And my goodness, if this doesn't sum up just how bad things have been over the last month. On February 1st, the Mavs traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers. On February 2nd, Nico Harrison had his famously bad press conference. On February 4th, Luka Doncic is introduced by the Los Angeles Lakers. Again on February 4th, the Mavs traded Quentin Grimes to the 76ers. On February 7th, the Mavs introduce Anthony Davis. On February 8th, Anthony Davis debuts, dominates, and then gets hurt. On February 9th, Dirk Nowitzki attends Luka's Lakers debut. Also on that day, the Mavs eject fans from their arena for saying "Fire Nico." On the 12th, the SMU student section chants "Fire Nico" while Harrison is in attendance. On the 15th, Mavs assistant Darrell Armstrong is arrested for aggravated assault. On February 21st, the Mavericks drop their infamous music video with certain players edited out. Also on the 21st, Dirk talks for the first time to The Ticket and talks about how weird this whole situation has been. On the 25th, Luka makes his debut against the Mavs and leads the Lakers to victory with a triple-double. Then on March 1st, Quentin Grimes scores 44 points for the 76ers. Then on March 3rd, the Mavericks raise their season ticket prices by 8%, because reasons. Also on March 3rd, Kyrie Irving goes down with a knee injury and then knocks down both free throws before leaving the game. And then the following day, on the 4th, Kyrie Irving is officially diagnosed with a torn ACL in his left knee, ending his 2024-2025 season. What a historically terrible month. And I'm honestly trying hard to figure out any team that has had a month as bad as this one. You might be able to argue the Chicago Bulls in 1999, who, in a similar fashion, did have a general manager with a major ego. For me, this is probably the only season that comes close. But to be honest, it's not all that close. Because the Bulls had just finished up a dynasty where they won 6 championships in 8 seasons. And to a certain extent, that breakup had been foreshadowed throughout the 1997 to 1998 season, while all of this Mavericks drama just happened out of nowhere. Coming towards the end of January, Mavericks fans were going to bed in a decent position, thinking that they still had their franchise player, and all of that dramatically changed in just 1 month. I could have turned this video into a big top 5 or top 10 list about the worst individual seasons in NBA history, but honestly, I want to leave that part up to you guys. Is this Dallas Mavericks season the worst season of all time? Or is there other seasons that compare to it, as far as the expectations when the season started compared to where they ended up? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.